It is a beautiful day, about 80 degrees. No, it's 84 degrees, almost 85. Welcome back to Charm on Travel. Today we're headed to Middlefield, Ohio for Bob the Moto-Kitten's vet visit. I'm going to make sure he's healthy before he joins me on my camping expeditions this fall when he is a little bit larger and we can get a leash on him. Bob's quite vocal today, more vocal than he was last time, although he's just now starting to quiet down. I think he's realized his fate is now fully in my hands, and no amount of screaming is going to change that. So I figured out why I got turned around in New Stanton. Google Maps hates me and added a mysterious leg to my route. I went across the country on just paper maps, like paper maps that I would buy at gas stations for each particular state, and I'd stick them right here in this tank bag so that I could, glance down, see where I was, and also review the map. A lot of places at the time in 2014, I imagine also still did not have that great a cell service anyway. And while you can use Google Maps offline, at that point you pretty much just got a map that you have to unlock and keep a battery charged for. So I just got used to navigating with maps. I was driving before the age of Google Maps, and GPS was just in its infancy. So all that thinking about maps and getting lost made me realize, hey, I need an outline for my motovlog. I installed a Quadlock phone carrier system on the bike, which I can't use because it comes in contact with my tank bag. So I just have to adjust it up a little bit, because either that or take the tank bag off when I use it. But I have a fuse block on my bike that I wired up years ago, and when I got the bike, so I just leave it on auto mode, and it's wired right into that fuse block. So I kill the battery, it stops charging. Did some work to the bike yesterday. Aside from cleaning and using up what little wax I had left, I changed the final drive gear oil, which was pretty dirty and needed done. I changed the motor oil, put some rear brakes on, installed the Quadlock system, like I said, and I changed the oil filter, or the air filter rather. Yeah, of course, change the oil filter, but the air filter was pretty dirty. But I got a real nice K&N filter. It says it's a washable filter. I'll have to look into that. I didn't know that when I bought it. I just like K&N stuff, so I got a pretty nice K&N sticker for my bike now. So about my bike, Charm on Travel's motorcycle is pretty unique. It has a pan air system. It's a liquid cooled GS, 2013. One of the first years, I think the very first year they made the water cooled, and it was a demo bike. And I've spoken a little bit in my motovlogs about where I went to get it. I got it in Nebraska. But the pan air systems are 20 millimeter ammo cans that I got from a surplus store, and people hate them. I got the idea years ago from YouTube. There was a guy who put 50 cal cans on his dirt bike to go camping, and I can weld a little bit, so I welded up a support system, bracket system, and then also had to modify the 20 millimeter cans. I put a hasp on them, and like a real simple locking mechanism to lock them onto the frame of the pan air system. But almost immediately, like when I was out on my trip, a guy in Idaho just almost rage quit a gas station. He was so upset at him. I don't know what his problem was, but he was just being real sarcastic, you know, making fun of him. But they served me well. I mean, does it have the prettiest paint job in the world on them? No. Are they the prettiest welds? No. But can you lift the bike? Yep, you can lift the bike with it. And you can also pull them off at a tire change. I use them as a stand for the bike every time I change the tires. And here's a picture of that, of a tire change I did in Arizona before my return trip. I also like to use them at when I'm camping. I can pull them both off, and I got one for a seat, and the other one I can use as a camping table, either sitting around the campfire or a cooking surface if I need it. And they're pretty rugged. So I haven't laid down one at speed or anything, but I imagine that probably function as a little bit of a guard too. But they're heavy, and they don't look all that great. The sissy bar is more of a backrest, and I built that for Melissa so that she would be more comfortable back there. She doesn't ride so much anymore, but it's since been modified now to for my own needs. I use it to attach you know, sissy bags or improvised sissy bags, and in this case, Bob's cat carrier is lashed to it. So it does come in nice when you got a lot of gear. You got a place where you can hook everything onto. My first trip I took, I didn't have a panniers, I didn't have really anything back there to latch onto. I just had a big old tank bag from my cruiser days that I, you know, attached back there. But it was really a pain to get on and off, and it was so heavy with the camping gear and stuff that I needed that, you know, it really had to be tight, and you had to be careful when you lashed it down. The seat pad on the back, the actual pad, is made from a leather jacket that I had in high school. It was my first motorcycle jacket. I had put snaps and stuff on it to modify it, and the zipper broke on it, and I couldn't find anyone to repair it. I guess leather is kind of hard to work with, so you know, my backrest is upholstered. The padding is upholstered with a leather jacket. I like stuff like that. I like things that have purpose and you know, things that last a long time, with stuff that can be recycled or upcycled and used over and over again and then used again. I got my fingers crossed that the GoPro hasn't overheated yet. So taking a roll of the dice. I'm interested to see how bad the wind noise is on the medium mod also. That'd be interesting. I'm so tall that I doubt it's getting a lot of protection. Well, maybe it is from the windscreen. I'm an LTSLM. It's a long torso, short-legged male. Not a lot of people know about them, but I'm starting a support group. So if you guys are interested, you know, I'll start one on Facebook. LTSLM, long torso, short-legged man. Oh, bug right to the face. Not good. And I like things like that. I like that I could repurpose that. I like things that can be used over and over again and then recycled into something else and then used for another 10, 20 years, you know? I like things that have a little story. I'm not sure where I get that. I'm not sure if it's a thing that started in my family from, you know, just having to make do with what you had, or if it's a thing of, you know, where I'm from. But it's not just that we had to do it. I think we get pleasure whenever we do something like that, and it's also it kind of comes through with heirlooms as well. Heirlooms, family heirlooms, little mementos. Some people have photo albums, or now I guess home movies, and we have some of those too. But I think the things that we value the most that we have that our family passes down are, items that can be used, everyday items or tools or recipes or something that can be used. And I think in anthropological terms, it's probably the oldest means of remembrance, the oldest. And probably the oldest, way in which we've mourned too, is symbology, like to apply a meaning or significance to an item. But there's some places in the world that's still a thing, and I think, I think that's probably part of why our family does it too. We don't necessarily believe that it embodies the spirit of our ancestors, but we do believe that every time you pick it up, you think of that person and you remember them, and that's kind of cool. It's kind of neat to think that that you could be remembered that. So I don't have a lightsaber that was used by my father in the Clone Wars, but I do have items that went through World War II and items that went through the Korean War. And I think all families pass down things like that. I think in some families it's quilts or recipes or maybe wedding dresses. Some people pass down classic cars or maybe even motorcycles. I think a lot of people must get, a bike handed to them. I like things that can be used over and over again, and I like things that all persons have in common, like all of humanity. And I think that passing down thing, that ascribing a significance to an item, is one of those things. I think it's I like those things because not only is it sort of poetic in a sense and counter to a lot of the sorting and categorization that we do as humans. We put people in different little groups and little boxes and don't necessarily like when they intermingle. It's just something people do, and I don't, I think it's when you find a universal like that, or you find something that's ubiquitous, it helps to recenter you. I know when I think about that kind of stuff that I hate all of you a lot less. But that's the point, right? That's how you find common ground. And people that are seemingly completely different from you, or raised in different areas with different ideals and different religions. Oh, I think we're gonna make it, Bob. We took the long way, but we're going to make it with 5 minutes to spare. That's probably going to take 5 minutes to get through town, so we will most likely make it right on time, if not a little late. Okay, Bob, we made it.
Crawled right up my leg, and here he sits.
All right, Bob, you ready to go? Okay, Bob has a clean bill of health. He got his flea and tick treatment, so he can go outside, and he's a whopping 2 pounds now. So he has actually doubled in size this time. And he's pretty quiet right now. He seems to have chilled out for the ride home. I'm not sure if you can hear me. I'll try to clean up the wind noise, but it just feels good having the wind in my face. It's so hot today. It's not super hot, but it feels good. That's the great thing about these modular helmets. They just feel great. You flip it up, get so stuffy in there. I get a lot of upward lift on my beard, though. Not sure if it's the windshield or what. I'm not sure how this became a motovlog about recycling, but I think we could all do more. I know I'm not carbon neutral. I produce a lot of trash, like this motovlog. But I don't even sort my trash anymore. I saw this PBS NewsHour report about China and the South Pacific countries that were buying a lot of our plastics and trash, and how they stopped during the Trump administration, and how a lot of companies don't even know, a lot of garbage disposal companies don't know what to do with the trash, so they're just sending it all to landfills. So even though you're sorting your trash, it's, you know, it's all going to the same place, which is kind of disheartening. So it's all like this huge lie. Soylent Green is people! Soylent Green is people! Also the plastic film. Recycle places that a lot of that plastic stuff, they say that they can recycle it, but they can't, and they have to pay someone to sort through the trash. And I don't think they can afford to do that, especially since they're not making any money off the plastics that they're selling, you know, overseas. I put a little plug in for Countryside Veterinary Service or Veterinary Clinic. No, I think it's Veterinary Service. Not absolutely certain, but I've been with them for many, many years, and they've seen the life and passing of a great number of pets that I've had in the past. They always provide quality care, but they're all extremely knowledgeable, and they always have time for all your questions. And I tend to have a lot of them because they're my fur babies. And it's a bit of a drive, but I go out there specifically. You know, I make that drive just for Countryside because I like them so much. I don't know what it is about the Beamers, but people see them and they think, wow, it must have been a pretty penny. But I got this because it's what I could afford. I mean, it was cheaper than a Harley. I couldn't have. I mean, there was also a lot of design features that I liked about it, like that it sat up higher. It was really the recommended weight capacity of it too, because I'm such a big guy. But you can really load these things up like pack mules, The weight capacity is so much higher than what, Harley is. And I also like the horizontally opposed motor and the shaft drive. The shaft drive was a big thing for me. I'm not even going to downshift. It's got plenty of power out throughout the gears. Except when you come to a complete stop at the apex of a hill like that. Bob's growing so fast, I think it won't be long before we can get out and camp. I'll see about getting a leash for now, or a little chest harness. It's got to be something that'll cover the full range of the size that he is now to when he becomes fully grown. So a little homework today, if you haven't seen it yet, go watch Steve McQueen in The Great Escape when he jumps on the motorcycle and flees through the German fields or wherever he is, Austria. I'll have to see what kind of bike that is, too. Might be a Beamer. Hey, it's homework for me. That's a good scene.